Morning, afternoon, evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. I am the Black Shadow, and I thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of the ShadowCast on Friday the 13th, no doubt. Of course, it was. I should have seen this coming a mile away, really. Friday the 13th, December 2013. The countdown to Christmas is on. We're just 12 days away to the festive day. However, some problems have arisen beforehand now. Just to let you guys know, I'm not making this video. Obviously, Grandia 2 LP is supposed to start tonight. I'm not making this video because I haven't recorded Grandia. I have. It's just that some of you may get from the title of this video. This is kind of serious, and I kind of wanted to bring this up to people's attention. I don't know how many people know about this or what it might impact or affect. So I wanted to bring this up, and to make it up for you guys, Grandia 2 will be starting tomorrow morning. I will upload the first video, and then the second part will go up later in the evening, the usual time, and we'll go from there as per usual. It's just I wanted to put up this video. I thought it was quite serious. It's an issue that has been going on apparently for a couple of days, although I was only actually aware of it earlier today. It was only brought to my attention. It came up, and I've been doing some research into it. It looks quite serious on the face of it. What's been going on, for those of you who don't know, I don't know who doesn't know, I never do. As far as those of you, obviously you watch the channel, some of you may know about it, I'm not really sure. But there has been problems going on over the past couple of days. It seems that YouTube, after the whole Google Plus shove it down our throats carnage not too long ago, it seems that there is now further problems going on. There have been some policy changes with YouTube, which has then gone on. Obviously, it has been rolled over to the Content ID system, which is basically the system that YouTube uses on all of its video. So for any video that goes up on YouTube, if there's copyright, it gets flagged. And it seems that carnage has erupted in regards to the system. That it's like a new system's been put in place. And some people have been very, very heavily hit by copyright issues. Some of them feel unfairly. Some of them I can understand unfairly. And it is obviously for someone like me, a Let's Player, who deals with a lot of creating content and that sort of thing. Of course, for someone like myself, it's quite worrying. It's quite a potentially very dangerous situation. A very, 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 very precarious situation, that's for sure, potentially, folks. And I felt I would let you guys know, for those of you who don't know what's going on. I figured I'd let you guys know just so you can, just to keep you in the loop, really, because I don't think that many people seem to know about it. It's been all over YouTube, people have been putting up videos and that, but I figured I'd give my 2 cents as well. Now, what's been going on is YouTube basically, they're on new system a couple of days. And a lot of people, it's affected a lot of the bigger channels a lot more naturally. A lot more expensive than mine. Obviously I'm not like the biggest YouTuber in the world. I wish I was sometimes, but unfortunately I'm not quite there yet. But yeah, folks. What's been going on is since the system's rolled out, some people have been reporting that dozens upon dozens of videos have been getting flagged, they've been getting blocked, they've been getting deleted for apparent copyright claims which they don't believe are true, or unjust or unfair. With some cases I agree, it's not just been like LPers like me. It's sort of people like doing like reviews of video games. I heard and seen of one story where literally someone did an interview with a game developer, and not too long after that video was put up, the video was blocked by it was flagged for copyright by the exact same game developer that he just interviewed. Now that just seems crazy on paper. That just seems absolutely bizarre. And obviously there's some issues that have been going with this system. The problem is, though, obviously it's worrying for me. I look at it, I think, well, this could have a heavy effect. But the thing is, I'm not like, obviously I'm not sitting here, I'm thinking, oh, that's alright. Obviously it's a worry, but I'm not too sure exactly what's to blame here. Obviously, YouTube naturally are getting a lot of the fingers pointed at them, naturally. You can understand it, it's their system, they've brought it in, it was their policy changes, and that's what affected it. But this is the problem, though. YouTube is a free service, it deals with uploading video, people can upload videos, they can create content, they can share it, and perhaps the more sort of important point for this issue is that fact that you can make money out of it, you can monetize it, advertisements, and that sort of thing. But the problem that YouTube has is that inherently because of that, it has to deal with the copyright business. And the copyright business is a very grey, dark and nasty area that no one likes getting involved because it is that grey. From mega corporations like Microsoft to people like me. It is a horrible time bomb just waiting to go off. It will do one day, something major will happen, and this whole issue will get blown wide open. It's waiting to happen. I don't know how it hasn't happened properly yet. It's just sort of churning on in the background, but that will happen soon enough. But getting to a bit more the point, the problem we've got here, and it has been a sort of, it's awkward me saying about it myself. It feels like it could happen to me. I'll get to it in a moment. But the problem is, it's happening on a lot of the bigger channels, and the problem is, especially, it's the channels that have monetized, and YouTube has it, for those of you who don't know, when you upload a video, you can have it monetized, like ads are placed on it. It's like whenever you've got like the video, it's got like you got the skip ad at the beginning of whatever it is, whether it's a film, a game, whatever the hell you fancy, and you skip. Yeah, that's monetized. The developer, the person that's uploaded the video, wants to make money off the video, therefore that happens. But for that to happen, YouTube have to feel that it doesn't infringe any copyright. And the thing is that system's worked. It's worked through a monetizing system. It has worked through sort of, I wouldn't quite say agencies, but of groups. I can't think of the proper name off the top of my head, but sort of groups of companies, that deal with a lot of these sort of like gamers. I've had I had a message come through once, but I didn't act on it at the time because I didn't fit their criteria. But you might know what I mean. There's companies that go around, like of game websites, and they say that they'll sort of sponsor you in a way, they'll sort of basically a way so that you can, if you sort of be a part of their group, you can make money from have people watch your video, they sort of get a cut of the slice. And the idea is that basically by doing that, they also sort of, they cover your back a bit, if there's any sort of, that they make any sort of, potential copyright issues, they solve them. They give you access to like a music library as well that you can use, copyright free, it's theirs. If there's a problem, they deal with it and they make it go away. That sort of idea, and that worked for a good couple of years. That's all well and good, but the problem is that now that the system has changed, it has caused problems. And the problem you always have with whatever it is that whenever you change something like this, there's always two things that happen. There are always people that don't like change, and whenever you bring out a new system, there's always kinks of it. The problem is that one exasperates the other. I did say exasperate, please. But yeah, it fuels the other. Something new comes out, people go around and say, why, if it's not broken, don't fix it, that sort of thing. Don't know why I gave that voice. But they say, say it's fine, why bother? And then the new system comes out, inevitably, something's not going to work, and then it makes them go off on one. It adds fuel to the fire, and that's the problem. And to me, it feels a bit that may have been what's happened here a bit, because, yeah, it can easily be interpreted, very easily. I can do it right here, right now. That a lot of companies, like companies they do nowadays, it's the 21st century, a lot of companies, are there for profit based. Like a company it's there for profit, it's there for the money, the short dollar, and the way they might look at it, and some of them probably do. I won't go into names, I'll leave that to your speculation. But companies, they don't mind necessarily that these videos that, like for myself, say like, with the first two videos of GTA Vice City, of course, they've been blocked in Germany. They got flagged for copyright. And the way they may look at it is that, I didn't want that money monetized, you know, and I'm doing it, you know, it's, of course you've got this whole problem of like, it's free promotion, free advertising for them, but it's very easily interpreted that that in theory, they're not getting anything out of it, but then it gets flagged for something, they can then make money out of my video, even though I didn't want that happening in the first place, you know, and, you know, and then it can be interpreted that YouTube don't give a damn, because they make money out of it, the company makes money out of it, you know, and they're happy. They get some extra money in, you know, for basically flagging your video, saying that it's got copyright, basically, which technically labels you as a criminal, and then they you know, and they all make money out of it. They get some more extra funds to go on their fancy holiday. That's easy to interpret that way, but I don't think it's quite like that. I mean, and the problem is that with a lot of, in regards to what this really focuses on, is that the reason they've changed the system is because they're after people, you know, that the proper pirates, you know, people that will upload a music video, people that will upload a full movie, you know, they are blatantly, the whole point of copyright law is to stop people doing that. I mean, if you watch, say, like, you know, if you're tempted to watch, like, let's take a recent movie, Hunger Games, Catching Fire, for example, that's recently come out. Now, if you can go to YouTube and watch that film on there for free, why on earth would you bother buying the DVD? And the problem with that, of course, is that then that happens, it devalues the company that made it devalues the actors that have acted in it devalues the developers, the directors, anyone that's involved in that. They don't get as much money as they would have, and the problem then, because of that, is then because someone has uploaded it for free, YouTube gets hit with the liable for damages. And YouTube naturally want to cover their asses, so they then sort of shift the blame and blah 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 blah, blah and all that sort of thing. But where the heck am I? I'm trying to think where I've gone now. I've completely lost it. Silly voices do this to me sometimes. But yeah, so that happens, and it's those people that copyright law is meant to stop. The problem with copyright law is that for people like me, people that do reviews and all that sort of thing, is that copyright law, it has a bit of white of what you can do, it has a bit of black of what you can't do, but there's always this massive grey area in between. And a lot of people sort of fall into that. There's not very often it's either black or white. A lot of people like myself, very grey area. And it's kind of like, if I didn't speak in my videos and it was silent, technically speaking, my video should get taken off copyright, but the fact that I provide commentary, you know, and that sort of thing, is basically what sort of protects these games and protects my videos and stays on. And, you know, because, you know, you look at fair use policy, you know, you are allowed to upload this material for commentary purposes, which is exactly what I do. You know, I don't do it for making money. I don't make any money out of this. You know, I'm not in a position that I can. You know, and and the problem is that this whole problem, you know, it can frighten people that want to get to that point, you know, that don't mind making money. I mean, if I was getting sort of tens of thousands of views a video each day, you know, then I might well consider that, you know, because it's a way to oil the wheels. You know, it helps me to fund, you know, getting hold of the next game I want to LP. It helps me fund trying to improve what my abilities. What capabilities I have. I mean, I can't record HD at the moment. I've gone over that a long time, lots of times even, as to why I can and can't do that. It's a bit easier now. I've just wandered into employment. I start on Monday, you know, so I can start putting some money to the side to help me sort of improve, you know, the capabilities of what I can, because when you've been in and out of work for 18 months, it's very hard to put any kind of money aside, basically. But, you know, the problem is that for people like me, you know, who might want to get to that sort of stage one day, or for, you know, people that are interested in doing LPs, and I know there is, you know, I mean, since I've started LPing, I've had a few people who have asked me, you know, about LPing. They've said no, they're interested in doing it, and like I always say to anyone listening, if you're ever interested in starting LPing, please let me know, and I will help you out as much as I physically can. And help setting you up, you know, what you kind of need to try and do, or try not to. You know, obviously everyone's always got their own methods and that sort of thing, but I will try and help you out, you know, as much as I can, so that in 6 months later down the line, when you're a much bigger channel than me, hopefully give me a few references. That'd be quite nice. Bit of advertising there. But it has always has its knock-on effects. You know, if a big channel, say like PewDiePie for example, you know, his full-time job is YouTubing now. You know, he's that big and all that sort of thing. But if content editing was to hit him suddenly, that half of his videos are getting blocked for whatever reason, it has a knockback effect because, like, you know, suddenly he's not earning enough money that he can fund himself. And he's got to say get a job on the side, and then he might go to people and say, look, I've got to get, you know, a job, you know, down here or there or wherever, and I can't keep doing what I do at the same time. I can't make the money I need to off of doing stuff on YouTube or the internet, so I've just got to stop doing that. Think of the knockback. Think of the effects that would have right down the chain. You know, because it's like, you know, something like that is like a big central hub of information, of people, of viewers, and there's sort of streams that come off to different channels here and there, and it all sort of, it streams along and streams down and thins out and all that sort of thing. So you get people like me, like a bottom food chain almost. But I said, if you cut off the head and you cut off that connection, then all those people sort of below that stream off, they don't get that kind of, the viewers, they don't necessarily get the exposure that some of these bigger people do have. They don't get privy to it, and it hurts the industry as a whole. You cut off the head, you know, suddenly all these games that are getting effectively free advertising, they don't get the free advertising, you know. The people don't see these games, don't look at these games, they don't think, oh, I want to play it, they don't know about it. The industry suffers as a whole. Okay, now, there's an issue here, but I don't think necessarily YouTube is to blame, and the reason for that is that companies aren't idiots, alright? Now, and the people that run these companies aren't necessarily idiots. They may say some stupid things, they may do stupid things, they may make stupid things, they may decide to change things in stupid ways, but they're not stupid, you know. These people are getting paid money, but they're not complete and utter idiots. Well, not always, but you know, these people, you know, they get to these positions because they work at their craft. They've been doing it for a long time. They know what they need to do. You know, they're not idiots. And it has been a case, and it hasn't really been lightened up very much, the fact that some companies have been very curious about the situation as well. And to be honest, there's probably more game companies that sit in our boat than you might actually realise. I mean, I was doing some research into it. I'll give you an example. What have you got here? You've got like Capcom, for example. They posted on Twitter a few days ago that they wanted people to let them know if they've had videos flagged, because they think that it might actually be illegitimate claims, some of them, and that they're investigating. You know, a Deep Silver, the guys that made the Metro series, Dead Island. They've been investigating it as well. I know there's been many others as well, and clearly there's a problem going on here with the system, and of course there's a knockback from that, and you know, something has gone drastically wrong. You know, since systems come out, things haven't been working, and it's like, and I can explain you why in a really simple way. First 2 videos of my Vice City LP have been blocked in Germany. They've been flagged for copyright, blocked in Germany. Now, the reason they got flagged for copyright is because some of the songs on the GTA radio are made by commercial artists. I'll use one of Human League, for example, came up in one of the videos. Now, obviously, for those of you that seen the video of me doing my Let's Play of GTA Vice City, obviously, I am not trying to make money off the Human League. I'm not trying to steal their music. I'm not trying to steal their property. You know, I'm playing the game. It just so happens that 10 years ago, they got one of their songs into a GTA game at great expense, I imagine, and it just happens that the system has picked it up. Now, obviously, me and you can tell that I'm not trying to cheat the Human League out of any money. The problem is that we have logic, but a robot doesn't. A robot is set to govern by laws, it is bound by them, it cannot deviate from them. And a robot will see that, it will hear the Human League music, and it will think, that's copyrighted Human League music, flag the video. Simple as that. It doesn't work on logic. You know, and this is the problem that people have been having. You know, it's like people have been, you know, like it's completely legal for like people do reviews of games. You know, for video games. If I wanted to do a review of a video game, which I might well do in the future, I am allowed to use some clips of the video game in order to actually help show the game, to help the review. I am perfectly within my legal rights to do that because I'm reviewing the game. I'm allowed to show clips of it at the same time. You know, I don't need permission necessarily from the company. I don't need, they don't technically even need to know. I'm perfectly in my capabilities of using that and using little clips here and there. But the problem is that a computer, a robot, it doesn't see that. It sees copyrighted material, potentially copyrighted material, and it doesn't look at the context. It doesn't look at why it's there. It says it's there, it's copyright, flag the video. And that's what's been going on, folks. I don't think this is quite YouTube are trying to censor the web. I don't think it's quite like that. I mean, they didn't help themselves with the Google Plus issues a few weeks ago. But I think clearly there are problems going on. But I don't think YouTube should get the blame for it. Obviously, the system's come out. There's problems. There's kinks of it. But I don't want people on this channel sort of thinking, well, you know, people like me, people like, you know, big LPs, other people you might see are suddenly, all these LPs are going to get shut down. I don't want people to think that, because I don't think it's going to be quite that. I don't think that's the situation that's going to occur. People are still people. People understand the logic, and things will balance out. I think, you know, that the system will have to change. Obviously, it's not working at the moment. And I'm sure YouTube know that, they understand that. A lot of game companies are saying it, and developers, a lot of them are saying that something has obviously gone wrong here, because they're having to deal with so much crap come through their email. They don't want to deal with it, and these companies know. You know, it's like I play. You know, I mean, like for someone like me, I'm playing a lot of the older games. These games would get no exposure potentially otherwise, unless people like myself. We play these old games, and we show these guys. I did, Resident Evil Outbreak, the Outbreak series. You know, it's a game that gets very little exposure, but I played it, and a couple people said, no, we're interested in it. I'm thinking of getting that game myself, you know, and then they get the money. That is how it works. They're not idiots, you know, not all the companies do it. Some, I imagine, probably are after the short dollar. I can imagine that, but I don't think it's fair to say that the people are trying to censor the web. I don't want people thinking that. It's not as bad, I don't think, as it looks. I think there's a system error going on here. There's obviously it needs to change, but I don't want some people to sort of hear this and sort of think, oh, good grief, BS Inc.'s going to close next week, because by God it won't. I mean, I've always had the precaution, ever since I started LPing, should the worst ever happen, every video I've ever put up on YouTube, I have a copy of it on my hard drive, so should the worst happen, I still have all my material. It will never leave me. No one can touch it, and if everyone did, I would tell them to fuck themselves, so don't worry about that. No, but don't think that suddenly all these channels are going to get closed, because it's not going to happen. People will step in. I can imagine. I can't see this, suddenly, people's channels are getting closed or anything like that, because, you know, it doesn't seem right. I don't think it's going to happen. So, and that's what's going on. I've spent the time, explaining what's going on, explaining the situation, explaining why things are happening, and I'm explaining why they shouldn't be, of course, but I don't think it's fair to say that YouTube are trying to censor the web. I don't think it's their system that's causing the problems, but that's clearly not the intention. It's just that a robot can't really distinguish because it doesn't have logic, and that's what the problem is. People, like I say, people's interviews with a game developer getting copyrighted by the game developer they interviewed. That's not right. Clearly there is something gone wrong there, but you can't sit there and say that, that obviously that's not right. It can't stand like that. But I don't think it's fair to say that YouTube are censoring the web. I don't think it's fair to say that all these companies are suddenly trying to cash in, because it doesn't make sense. They haven't done it for ages. Why would they suddenly do it now? It doesn't add up to me, folks. So, Yeah, so that's that basically. I think that's enough talking for now. I said, please don't think that come next week I'm going to be doing my signing off video for saying I've been enjoying LPing, because that's not going to happen, and I don't want you to think that's going to happen to people like me, people that are trying to make it in this in this quite very unusual world, it must be said, of LPing, and trying to make it as we go along. Whether it's people that have made it, the big stars, the big dogs, that make all their money, don't think that they're going to close their channels and everything like that, because the situation will not get that bad. So don't worry about it, okay? I can only hope that I've helped enlighten you to what's going on, hopefully pretty well for 20 minutes. Explain the situation, why it's happening, that sort of thing. I hope people have find it, understand what's going on. I hope, especially for those of you that don't know, I hope you've got an insight to what's going on. But please, I don't think it's fair to fall into all the scaremongering that that all this hell is going to break loose, because I don't think it will. Things will sort themselves out. Things will balance themselves out, because they usually do. And if we do suddenly get to the stage where people's channels are getting closed and all hell breaks loose, then believe me, I'm sure you will hear plenty of it all across the internet, all across the news. All hell will break loose, and then something will be done anyway. So I don't think there's any reason to be particularly worried or afraid of it. So please don't be. But as it is, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'll thank you much for listening. I hope for those of you who don't know, for those of you who don't know, I hope you've learned a bit something as to what's going on and had an insight why. But please don't think everything's suddenly going to fall apart, because it's not that bad. Okay. Now I'm going to go rest my throat after doing Grandia as well. I need to get some sleep, so I'm going to thank you all very, very much for listening. Hope you found it interesting. Well, I suppose, I guess. So yeah, so thank you very much. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow morning with Grandia 2. So take care, folks.